I always promise to bring more content every winter when we start on the netting stuff. We sort of take for granted that the stuff that we see every winter, we're doing it every day out netting and stuff. So I always promise to bring you more winter content when we're out and about. And because yeah, for those of you that don't get to see what we see every day, it's probably quite interesting. So this year I'm going to try and sort of to try and make a conscious effort to get the camera out more and try and show you a little bit of what we see and why we see it and why things happen in different fisheries, and yeah, the differences we see from year on year, visiting regular clients that we go to every year and the developments that we see every year and the changes they've made to get those developments, because hopefully that'll give you a bit more clarity on why we advise what we advise and how it works. This week we actually had some quite nice jobs. On Monday we were with the Carp Syndicate over in Crowborough. So yeah, we had Plumpton College come to help us, and it's quite a nice place to visit that, because it was a similar situation to what I've got here on the farm, whereas the farm is diversified into fishing lakes, and normally with farmers they have a good understanding of livestock, and it was they always seem to be great fishery managers because they understand livestock and the demands, and it's just been run really sensibly over there, and a sensible stock of fish, sensibly managed, and the stock is a great reflection of that management. The fish looked absolutely great. They just had a small number of bream that had come in through what they said they thought had come in down through a downpipe from one of the higher stock ponds, one of the older ponds on the farm. So yeah, our job was to go down there and crop them. They had been recruiting, so there'd been some big bream and some much smaller bream, and our job was to go and remove them to give the carp, the thriving carp stock, some big fish in there, some room to grow. So yeah, it's well fed, it's well managed, and we had Plumpton College fishery management course down to help us for that day. So have a look and see how we got on.
Good day today. Had the lads from Plumpton, Dan, our cough Ruben. It's always good to catch up with him. Down at the Carp Syndicate Lake, Ashley's place. He's done wonders down here. This is, he knows his stuff, he knows what he's doing. He's got a hell of a stock of big carp, which he's grown on himself, which is always commendable. He hasn't just made an instant carp fishery, which we like. Done a good job removing some bream, which is going for a health check. I think we've hit him reasonably hard, to be fair. And we've caught some cracking fish, loads of lumps, big interesting fish as well. And like I say, because he's grown them on himself, that's always it's always a good thing rather than just relying on instant fishing. So yeah, it's a cracking place. Facilities are amazing here. It's I'd certainly want a ticket if I lived down here. And it is expensive, but that's, you know, that's how it is. This stuff isn't cheap to set up, certainly, and you never get your money back in a hurry ploughing that sort of investment in. But yeah, it's awesome. And this is only one lake. There's another one up there full of big fish. So yeah, it's a good day.
Yeah, it's another fantastic day with the Level 3 Aquatic Science students at Plumpton College. Today we've been working at the Carp Syndicate near Crowborough with Andrew and his professional team. Excellent opportunity for the guys to get involved with some seine netting, learning different techniques, cropping some of the bream out to free up the space for nutrients and further growth rate of some of the massive specimens that we've seen today. It's really fantastic to see such a well-run fishery, and thanks very much to Andrew for allowing us to come. It's been a real pleasure. Thanks.
So I'm sure you'll agree with me there that there's some beautiful fish down at the Carp Syndicate there, and a pleasure to meet Ashley finally. He's bought some feed in the past, and great to see his fishery and see what he's been doing the last few years. And yeah, it's really promising, that place to do some real big fish in the future. They're still very young fish, and great to have Plumpton College down to help, and good to sort of share our experiences and what we do every day with them. And yeah, really nice to see the fishery working proactively to get those fish to the next level, because it's all too easy to get complacent with that. When you see your fish growing year on year, you're feeding them and it's all working. Sometimes people are a bit reluctant to change anything, but that's when you start to plateau. So to keep the growth rate growing on those fish, getting on those carp as big as possible for the specimen market, and really demand a high ticket price for the members, and make it a profitable fishery, you really need to get those carp, or keep those carp growing. So taking those bream out and relieving those, it's probably £300 weight we took out that day. So yeah, taking that weight of bream out is really going to relieve some stress off the carp, and give them more space, more food, and keep them growing. So yeah, real nice fishery. First time we've been there. Great to meet Ashley, and really promising for the future for him there, and hopefully keeps up the good work there. And then next we went to another carp fishery, another syndicate lake, real nice big lake, shallow, really productive, clay. And those lakes are always really productive, and the crop recruitment in clay ponds, if they're kept turbid, open to light and air like this one was, yeah, the recruitment is always pretty impressive. So there are lots of silvers in there. So the carp recruitment, we're starting to see a few carp come through. We've done this lake before, but yeah, we were there to remove the roach, the numbers of roach. You could see them dimpling as soon as we turned up, but wow, they were dimpling all over the lakes. There's clearly quite a lot of roach there. So the fine mesh net was the one for the job. We did some big sweeps there, some massive sweeps in open water, and some smaller sweeps in the bays and around the islands, and caught most of the carp stock. And yeah, there's plenty of roach to come out as well. So without doing that, same story really, very similar to the Carp Syndicate that we did previously. The video you've just seen, it's a very similar story. That was a case of removing the silvers to give the carp room to grow, because it's predominantly a specimen carp syndicate. So yeah, same story, removing silvers, did a great job. The carp are absolutely smashing it on in there, like they always do in new clay lakes like that, shallow clay lakes, as long as they don't get too weedy. This one wasn't too weedy, it kept turbidity in the water, probably from the volumes of roach, and those carp are really packing the weight on. We went there for the first time last year, and this year they've been absolutely smashing the weight on. I know they feed them pretty hard as well, so yeah, great work. And they've already booked in for us to go back next year, so be great to see how those big fish do that we caught there. So yeah, we caught big fish in the lake. There was a target fish that we had, like always as well. It's always I know Andy feels the pressure when we've got an individual fish to catch, or there's, you know, one fish we're after. It's always the pressure's on to try and catch it, and the reality of that is it really does put the pressure on us. But we caught it. We caught the biggest fish in the lake, and we caught the one we were after. There was one with a lot of damage on it that they'd mentioned in the past had been caught with some lacerations across the underside of the carp, and not really sure how it happened. We don't think it was any otter damage. There's no other obvious otter damage on any other fish. But it's really good to see that the fish has healed up well. Obviously they're feeding them very well. They don't get that much angling pressure. So yeah, those wounds that they showed us on the pictures of the lacerations across that fish really looked like that fish could have gone one or two ways, and you could barely notice it. You could just see a bit of scarring. So really sort of eye-opening to see that as well. So we had a different group of Plumpton College students out with us that day, and very helpful to have numbers of students. We were quite pleased to see the minibus turn up, and about 15 or 20 students come out and get on the end of the nets to pull these massive sweeps in. It always helps to have a few more hands when we've got lots of net out in the lake. So a big 300 metre sweep and plenty of hands. meant that we got it done pretty efficiently and caught plenty of carp, plenty of silvers, and another good job well done. So we will catch up next week when we've got a few more jobs to do, and hopefully it'll be a similar story. I can vlog some of them as well.
When we're angling, we never take them out of the water. But this, in a minute, we'll show you a picture on Mike's phone of this fish in August. Okay, it's only November now, and in August, this exact fish had deep lacerations here, and here, real deep, and they were, you know, starting to look a bit ropey, really. And now look how clean that is now, and it's only November now, and it was in August. So natural healing is an amazing thing. If you get them back in, quite often people leave them in slings and sacks and muck about them, and I tell you now, most of the time, if you haven't got any stuff, you don't want to be ringing your mates and go, oh, get some propolis or Nash, can't take it, just get it back in the water, because they'll naturally heal quick anyway, if they're in good condition, and this one is. So it's quite impressive how quickly that's healed, but it does happen. And also,
how deep would you say it would be?
The lacerations are a good centimetre into it, but you'll see the pictures, we'll show you before and after pictures. It's quite impressive how quick they heal.
Was it bird damage?
No, I don't know, it could be angler, like braid or something like that. It was weird, it's not often damage. They're like deep lacerations, but only down like one there and one there. Cormorant wouldn't take that on, and even if he did,
Pike won't take that.
They'd be on the top.
Pike won't take that.
No, I mean that one pike potentially could have done during spawning. That's the only thing I can think, because it is that if you look at the width of that, those wounds,
there.
yeah, it's about the size of that pike.
Yeah.
And when they're flanking, when they go to spawn, potentially that could have happened. But it's either that or angler damage. But it's impressive how well it's healed. That's amazing. Yeah, it could have been. Yeah, you know, it's impressive healing though.